Broadway from Grambling State. Is Coach Broadway on the call?
I am.
Coach, obviously a tough overtime loss on Thursday night on national television. If you could just kind of summarize the Texas Southern game and then a look ahead, obviously with a bye week, but a look ahead to the Bayou Classic, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Thank you. As you said, it was a tough loss, and we lost to an outstanding football team. We had our chances, but just wasn't quite good enough to get the job done. You know, we were up 34-17, first and goal on the 4-yard line, and ended up losing the ball game. You know, we had 2 minutes left in the third quarter, so we had 17 minutes, and of course they got momentum, and they played really well and fast and hard, and it's a good football team. And you know, we're disappointed that we weren't able to stick that touchdown in the end zone, because I felt if we'd gotten that touchdown at that point, then I thought we'd have been in complete control of the game. But, you know, you got to give Texas Southern a lot of credit. They hung in there, and they fought, and they fought, and they fought, and came back and won a tough ball game. And, of course, we have a week off, so we're going to try to get some guys well, because, like everybody in the league, we're really beat up this time of the year, and we're looking forward to going down to New Orleans and playing Southern.
We'll open it up for questions for head coach Rod Broadway from Grambling State. Again, *6 will unmute you to ask your question.
Rod, it's Ross with the Clarion Ledger in Jackson. Rod, do you think it's unfortunate that you play Southern so late in the season that you guys can't get into the FCS playoffs, especially this year? You guys, you know, ranked in the top 25 in the FCS polls. I mean, you could have possibly got in. Do you think it's unfortunate you play Southern so late that that's not a possibility?
Well, you know, they've been doing that forever, Ross, and, you know, we play the schedule that's put before us, the time that's set before us, and, you know, that we have no control over that. You know, we're just excited to go down there and play Southern.
Would you like that to change, the scheduling?
Well, this has been a tradition that's been going on here for a long time, and I think it's a good setup. And you know, I actually enjoy going to New Orleans and playing in the Bayou Classic. And of course, you know, you like to get out and play in the playoffs, but that's not the way our system, our schools has set things up. So we're going to play the way we have it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Coach, talk a little bit about this. You know, usually there are, and it still could work out that there are championship implications around the Bayou Classic, but, you know, usually a lot more hype going in. Both teams, you know, usually the two of the better teams in the West. Is there just kind of a change in the feel around the game?
I don't think, you know, just watching tape, I don't think Southern is as bad as a record. And I think they're a dangerous football team. You know, they have some good players, and I think I heard Coach Barlow or someone say earlier, you know, they have some talent. So we've got to be ready to play, and we've got to play extremely well. We can't give them stuff. And, again, you know, I learned this a long time ago. We had watched, I guess our first year here, we watched every game that Southern had played that year. And, you know, I thought we had a better football team than Southern that year, and they spanked our butt in the game. And the game started, and I'm saying, well, where did this team come from? Because the team that was playing us that day wasn't a team that we had watched all year. So, you know, this is old saying, this is football talk, but that gum, you know, I don't know if the records mean anything if we can get this situation, because that was proven to me my first year here, because the team we played was a team that I saw play all year that year.
If you could talk a little bit about Frank setting the Grambling career rushing record, obviously in a loss, not you know, he'd probably trade a couple hundred of those yards for a win, but yet he's still got an outside chance to even become the SWAC's all-time leading rusher as well.
Well, you know, Frank, I've said for a long time, Frank is special. He's a really good running back, and he deserves everything that he's getting. And hopefully he can continue to play well for us here in the Bayou Classic. And, you know, we're proud of Frank because he's an outstanding person, outstanding young man, one of our leaders on our football team, and it couldn't have happened to a better person. So, you know, everything he got last week was earned because, you know, as everyone said, Texas Southern has an outstanding defense. And, you know, hopefully we can get him up a little bit in this game.
Coach, Ty Miller from Sheridan Broadcasting. Good morning.
Hey, Ty, how you doing?
Pretty good, Coach. You've consistently won 8 to 9 games per year, so does it kind of bug you that even after winning all those games, like a year like this year, that what you have left to play for is just the Bayou Classic now?
Well, no, Ty. I think if we can win 9 this year, that's a pretty good year considering what we've gone through as a football team, the number of people that we've lost on our football team, and to have an opportunity to win 9 ball games with these guys, I think would be special. We've lost 6 defensive backs. We lost Christian Anthony. We lost Greg Dillon. We lost 3 linebackers. But we don't complain. We just go and play, and we do the best we can. And I like to have had all our players and had a chance to win. But it is what it is. You win 9. That's nothing to hang your head about. Of course, we try to play and put ourselves in a position to win a championship. We had that opportunity, but just wasn't quite good enough on that night to win a championship or to put ourselves in a position to play for a championship. So, if we can get to 9, that would be a good. That's a good record for this team, considering the number of losses that we've had.
Coach, when you get to the Bayou Classic, you've been there a few times now. The first time you lost it. What is different about this game you've noticed since you've been coaching down at Grambling?
Well, there's a lot of emphasis put on the game, Ty, and as I said earlier, the team that first year, I thought we had a better football team than Southern. I really did, but they ended up winning the ball game because the team that showed up wasn't a team that we saw play all year. They play hard and they play fast in that one. And we had to get to the point where I understood the history and how important this game was and what it meant to everybody. And I'm not talking about fans. I'm talking about the players and the coaches from our team and the coaches from and the players on the other team, because it is a big game. It's a big rivalry, and it's a game that we need to win and we need to go and play well in. But it's a great atmosphere. I mean, I wish everybody could experience that. You see it on TV for a number of years, and then you have an opportunity to be a part of it, and it is special.
Hey, Coach, you look at Southern, as you just mentioned, like that first year you had a better team. This year you have a better team. There's really nobody on Southern that sticks out like a sore thumb. So, at best, what do you prepare for? Do you just keep your same mode of operation where you make sure your team is prepared?
That's our MO. That's what we try to do every week. And I said earlier that when I look at Southern on tape, they're a better football team than their record. They really are. And that's not blowing smoke or whatever, but I think they're better than their record. Hopefully we are a better football team, and hopefully we play that way during the Bayou Classic. But as I said earlier, we just got to get ready to play and hopefully play well, because we can't go down there half-stepping or we're going to get embarrassed.
You are now in talk mode.
He had a great game against Texas Southern, but made a few mistakes there. But how much has he grown in just a short time?
But he had an opportunity to hit about 4 receivers that he underthrew, which could have been some big plays for us. But again, a lot of that has to do with Texas Southern and the way they play in their defense, and we were disappointed in that he wasn't able to hit them. And some of it has to do with that receivers too, not fighting for the ball and not going up attacking the ball. But he underthrew 2 balls that I thought were sure touchdowns if he could connect it. But we're happy with with where he is. Not completely satisfied, because I think he should be better than he is and make better decisions than he's making right now. And we don't care if you're a freshman or a sophomore, whatever. You just need to play and play well. And as I explained to the team, when you look in the NCAA manual, there's nothing in the book that says that freshmen can't play extremely well. So we don't even talk about him being young or being a freshman. We just expect him to play and grow and to get better every week. And he's gotten better, and actually he's getting healthy again. And I think you saw some runs last Thursday where he's getting his feet back and his ankles are healing, and he's able now to. And that's what we got to do this week. We got to get him more involved with the option game and get him in some one-on-one situations, see if he can make some plays for us with his feet.
Hey, Coach, we've heard about your skilled players and mostly Frank, but if there was an unsung hero or a bunch of unsung heroes on the team, who would they be, or who would that be?
Probably the offensive line has done a really good job. They've grown. We have 5 new starters in there from last year, and we have 1 senior, and the rest of them are freshmen and sophomores that we're playing. And those guys have done a good job. And I think our receivers has really grown as far as blocking downfield and getting a hat on the hat and digging people out and doing those sort of things. So Frank, a lot of his yardage and big plays has come because receivers are digging guys out and getting a head on them, and offensive linemen now get to the second level a little bit better than they did in previous years. So I would say that unit has really been a pleasant surprise for us in their growth.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Ty.
Coach, this is Santoria with Grambling Sports Radio Network. Coach, if you could, I know Cliff Exuma came out of the ball game. Is he going to be available for the Bayou Classic? Do you know?
It's way too early. We got we got some time left, and like I said, we've lost 3 linebackers, 6 defensive backs, so like everybody would beat up, and hopefully, having this off week will give us some time to heal and get some of our good players back. And congratulations to Coach Barlow and Alabama State for their trip to the championship game.